Good morning, everyone. Today is the 24th of Adar, and it's a Monday morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning because water is the sign of blessing, Larry. So we're blessed with some water in our lives as it's coming down outside a little bit. Not too bad. But let's learn in Tanya on page 60 in the Chayenu. And today's lesson, even previously neutral energies, for example, food and drink, they are elevated as a result of contributing vitality to the animal-like soul to be able to perform mitzvahs. So, for example, we think to ourselves, really it's about learning and davening. I don't really want to eat, but I have to. So it's something necessary that I must do in order to be able to have the energy to serve Hashem. The Alter Rebbe is going to give us some ideas now, some innovative concepts that we may have not thought of before, how that which goes into it, the food, the drink, whatever it is, actually becomes part of the mitzvah and gets elevated through us utilizing it for the good. An additional virtue in mitzvahs involving action, aside from their function in elevating one's animal soul, as mentioned above. The vitalizing soul's energy clothed in the utterance of letters of speech in Torah, when we learn Torah, when we daven, or the like, or the energy clothed in the performance of action-based mitzvahs, which we're talking about here. Harekol, Gedulai, V'chayusai, Ve'adam, Shehu, B'klipas Nega Mamish, comes from the energy. The energy comes from the blood, which is of Klipas Nega itself. Meaning all the food and drink that one has eaten and drunk, which have become part of his bloodstream. These were under the dominion of the Klipas Nega and drew the vitality from it. And now it was transformed from, here it says evil, but it could even be neutral, to good. Which now clothes itself in these letters of Torah mitzvahs, or in the performance of any particular mitzvah that we're doing, which actually constitutes the unveiling expression of the inner aspect of Hashem's will. By the way, I forgot, but I wanted to preface the learning today with today's Hayom Yom. I didn't have a chance, I forgot, but I want to jump in now and do it because I thought it's very, very important. It's Reb Hillel Parich once asked the Mittel Rebbe whether he should teach Chassidus in places where people had no concept of Chassidus. This is huge, guys. You ready? Especially if you think that Chassidus is not for you. The Mittel Rebbe answered, the teaching of Chassidus are heard by the neshama, are heard by the soul. And he says there's a pasuk that speaks of waters flowing from Lebanon. In Hebrew, the word for Lebanon is spelled Lamed Beis Nun Vav Nun, alluding to, and we could separate the word Lebanon, Levanon, to Lev Nun, alluding to the 32 Lev, paths of Chachma, wisdom, and the 50, the Nun, gates of Bina, understanding within the soul. So when the neshama here is a spiritual influence flowing down and trickling into the soul's rays of light, it illuminates the body. And this fortifies one endeavor to do good by fulfilling 240 positive commandments, to turn away from evil, and by observing the 365 positive mitzvahs. So oftentimes, if we get up to a certain sugya or chapter, part of the Tanya or Chassidus that you don't understand, don't be deterred, because your neshama understands and your neshama needs it, and it gives it energy, and that trickles down into the body. So now, if you miss something or you don't understand something in particular, it's okay. Your neshama understands it. I thought that was important to add here. Now, when we eat and we drink or we exercise or whatever we're doing, we're taking vitamins, protein shakes, whatever it is. And that vitality is absorbed into the body. Now it also gets absorbed into the mitzvah, because when we do a mitzvah, we're using our physical body, and that's a part of whatever it is that went into our body is now a part of that mitzvah. Right? You can't say that, oh, whatever I ate is not really going to be a part of it. I'm just going to use my arms and my legs and my mind and my mouth, but I'm not going to use whatever I eat. Chas v'shalom, a person decides I'm not going to eat kosher. It's all a part of it. So on the positive side, all the klipas nega, which constitutes the vitality of this physical world as a whole, will ascend as well. Not just the food that you drink, not just the food that you eat and the drink that you drink. Everything in this world. When will this come about? The takin kol nefesh pratis kol tayag mitzvah Torah. When the whole neshama, not just one individual soul, but the whole entire soul, the divine soul in all of Israel, which is divided into 600,000 particular offshoots. The standard figure for the members of the Jewish nation, all individual souls, being further subdivided of the 600,000 general souls, which we're going to explain further on, not today, will fulfill each individual soul of the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah. They will refrain from transgressing the 365 prohibitions to restrain the 365 blood vessels of the animal soul in the body. That the 365 blood vessels do not draw, nurture, or receive vitality by means of such transgressions from any one of the three unclean klippas, from which are derived the 365 biblical prohibitions and their rabbinic prohibitions as well, the rabbinic offshoots. Since all that derives its vitality from the three holy unclean klippas cannot rise to holiness. So we can't say, oh, since I'm going to try to transform the whole world, so let me treif, and then I'm going to be able to uplift that food and that time and that place and everything else. No, that we can't do. We have to stay away from that. The soul can no longer ascend to Hashem, having been tainted by the impure of the three impure klippas, which is something which is impure for a Jew to partake in, or whatever it is. These klippas can never be elevated, but must be nullified and utterly destroyed. I shall banish these unclean spirits from the earth. So similarly, so the things that are mutter, we could elevate. Things that are asur, we cannot elevate. We have to stay away from. And things that are parav, we have to transform and bring them over to the good side. Furthermore, when every individual soul will fulfill the 248 positive commandments and draw down the light from above to below, as we've been discussing, and to elevate to Hashem, and to bind and unite with Hashem the entire vital soul, which is all of our entire body, not just the godly soul. The 248 limbs of the body in perfect unity. Such is the effect of a mitzvah in uniting the animal soul with Hashem, so that they actually become one with Hashem. So we daven in talis and tefillin, we're uniting our entire body with Hashem, not just the holy parts of our body, the mind, the brain, the eyes, whatever, every single part, even our feet, our fingers, whatever it is. When we fulfill Hashem's will and make a dwelling place for Hashem in this world, So great is this unity that they, the limbs of the body, become the vitality of the animal soul invested in them. What do they have? What becomes to them? They become a chariot for Hashem. They become a chariot just like our patriarchs, whose every limb was in total submission to Hashem's will. And therefore, they are designated as Hashem's chariots, so that every Jew becomes a chariot by performing the mitzvahs of Hashem. So the takeaway for today's cover: the food that we eat and the drinks that we drink are not functions of a physical body. They're part of the mission. They too are elevated when we use that energy that we gain from them to act in a divine manner. When we do so, we elevate the food, we elevate ourselves, we elevate our surroundings, and we make a dwelling place for Hashem down in this world. Everyone have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining.